date is May the 18th, 2025. It is, of course, a Sunday, and today's the date that the annual Distinguished Gentleman's Ride takes place in many countries around the world, including here in Taiwan. Actually, I took part in it. I just stopped over at a cafe that I normally stop over just to actually record the commentary because it's a little bit more quiet. There was loud music playing at the other place, and I thought that it might get a content match, so I came here. Fun ride. Just like last year. Slightly different, however. If you go back and watch the video from last year's, the ride actually had 2 stops. This one only has 1. So began at Triumph, made its way to Tone Up Cafe, which is a cafe located in Bali, just outside Taipei, and then made its way to a very well-known temple that's located near the Linkou power station that has a community center next to it, and they had all kinds of vintage bikes on display and everything else. This year, it didn't do that. It just stopped at the Tone Up, and the parking lot that's right next to it turned into the exhibition for all the vintage Triumph bikes. Same bikes as last year, so that's the only reason why I didn't video it. The interesting thing, though, excuse the wind noise, is that every year in Taipei, it actually gets larger and larger. We met at the flagship Triumph store in Taipei. I got there early, and my reason for getting there early was so when the ride starts off, I'm not stuck in the back. So I actually got to the location quite before. When I got there, and I waited around maybe an hour before I moved here, there were still bikes actually coming in. And there were some beauties. Sadly, there's a couple of bikes that I wanted to take a picture of and some video of, but they went by too quick, and I didn't have my camera running. And the reason why these bikes were special, there are a couple of NSR bikes, but it's not that. It's the fact that they actually have a license plate, which is very difficult to get in Taiwan, which is a classic license plate. It's brown color. Very rare indeed. And they are quite beautiful. There was some other interesting bikes. The most fascinating one was a Vespa scooter. I think it was Vespa, or it might be Lambretta. They kind of look the same. And I'm looking at it, and I was wondering if the bike had been influenced by Jeremy Clarkson. Now you're thinking, wait, Jeremy Clarkson, motorcycles, scooters, what's going on here? Well, that was because when Top Gear did their special in Vietnam, they rode motorcycles. And I'll show a picture of it right now. I say that so I remember in editing. But there was a scooter that Jeremy was riding, a Vespa, that he had modified with lights and mirrors. And I was very surprised to find one with exactly the same thing. A little bit better condition than the scooter that he had, but nevertheless, I'm like, Jeremy Clarkson's influence. But there were all kinds of machines. Now, some people would think that, and this is true probably in some areas, you'll find more, let's say, Harley Davidsons or Triumph bikes. It is a Triumph event. But the nice thing about the ride here in Taiwan is that it is really, it is a smorgasbord of bikes. Everything from 50cc 2-stroke scooters, 50cc 2-stroke motorcycles, all the way up to Hayabusas and very expensive BMWs. A couple of vintage bikes that are very rare here in Taiwan. There was a very nice Moto Guzzi bike from the 1970s, and even older BMW bike, which was probably from the 1930s. So really a mixed bag of things. Quite fascinating, nevertheless. And this is the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride is one of those things that if you have never taken part before, it's something that I highly recommend. First reason would be you get some sponsors, you can raise some money for men's mental health worldwide. And that figure, by the way, has been going up every year. That's the first thing. Second is you will see some very interesting bikes, and you'll see some fantastic modifications, some personal bikes. There was one personal bike that I saw that I believe it was a Yamaha SR 150 that had been modified. You see some going behind me right now, this way. They're leaving the ride, probably going south. But this guy took this Yamaha SR 150 and completely did all the fairings himself in kind of a boxy square motif. And it just made me look... the look of it just made me think of one thing. Like a Cybertruck. Anyway, there are many riders from all around the world that take place here in Taiwan. There's a few Americans, a few Indians, a couple of Australians that I met, Italians, Malaysians, Singaporeans, even one guy from mainland China who works here in Taiwan. And a friend of mine who I met up last year, he's interesting, and I mean interesting in a very good way. So let's run to that video and you'll see why it's interesting. Hey, John, I have a question to ask you.
Go on.
And I asked you this last year. No, I didn't ask you last year. I was going to. You're the only one here wearing a kilt.
Yes.
Now, it's not Scottish, is it?
No, it's not. It's Welsh.
Welsh.
Yes.
How do you say that?
Cymru.
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 Uh-huh.
Yes. So the U is an E.
Okay. And the kilt. It's not your clan kilt, is it?
This is not my clan kilt. This is the Prince of Wales kilt. My clan kilt is Meredith, and it's predominantly yellow, a little bit of black and green. So the squares, the lines are black and green.
Right.
Most part is yellow.
And watch out. How is it riding with a kilt? Is it?
Refreshing.
Really?
Yes.
But you're not like the Scots. You can actually wear something underneath,
We
right?
wear we can wear something else. I have boxers and they've got the Welsh dragon, so they've got the dragon on it with the colours, the red, yellow.
Right.
The red, white and green, sorry. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. The national flag.
The national flag of Wales, yes.
That's John. John actually has his own YouTube website. I'll put the link here right at the bottom. Go check it out, British biker. And British. Yeah, he is British. He's actually Welsh. I made this joke last year. I said, you're wearing a kilt, you must be Scottish. Never say to a Welshman, you must be a Scot. No, he is Welsh. If you took part in the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride anywhere in the world, let me know. Where did you ride? Is it your first time? Are there certain Distinguished Gentleman rides that you would like to take part in? Leave in the comments section below. And by the way, I do reply to all of them. You can also find me on Facebook and also Instagram, where I do post a lot more content. So the only thing I'll say now is like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you very soon.